Hey there. It seems like AI is taking over the world, at least according to the headlines. But today we're going to try to separate fact from fiction, right? And really explore how AI is being used to replace jobs,
Yeah,
even CEO jobs. And we'll talk about what that means for you.
sounds good.
So we've gone through a ton of articles and research to bring you the most important insights, and we've got an AI expert here to help us make sense of it all.
That's me.
So buckle up because we're diving deep into the world of AI and the future of your business.
Let's go.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about Klarna. You know, that buy now, pay later company.
Yeah,
Well, their CEO is making waves by claiming he hasn't hired anyone in a year because he's replacing employees with AI. He's even said that AI could potentially replace his own job someday.
that's right. And Klarna has actually reduced their headcount by about 22% since they went all in on AI. They even developed an AI assistant that they claim can do the work of 700 people.
700 people. That's insane.
Mm.
But if a CEO can be replaced by AI, what does that mean for the rest of us?
Well, it's not necessarily about being replaced altogether. It's more about understanding how AI is changing the game and what skills you need to stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not time to panic and hide from the robots just yet.
Not exactly. AI is definitely changing the job market, but it's also creating new opportunities. The key is to adapt and evolve.
Okay, so maybe the robots aren't taking over just yet, but this whole thing still has me thinking. If we're going to be working alongside AI, what skills do we actually need to develop?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll definitely dive into more later. But for now, I think the most important thing is to understand that AI isn't just some futuristic concept. It's already here, and it's already having a real impact on businesses.
That's a good point. So how do we make sense of all this? I mean, where do we even begin?
Well, one interesting concept that we came across is what's being called the AI paradox. It basically argues that AI doesn't have to be perfect to be valuable. In fact, sometimes good enough AI, combined with the right strategy, can outperform humans in certain tasks.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this good enough AI.
Well, we found this YouTube video that breaks it down really well. They use some interesting examples, like an AI sales rep that might have a lower close rate than a human, but can handle way more calls because it's available 24/7. Or an AI receptionist for tradespeople that answers calls and schedules appointments, freeing up the business owner to focus on other things.
So even if the AI isn't perfect, it can still be more efficient and ultimately more profitable.
Exactly. And the video actually breaks down the math to show how even lower performing AI can still deliver significant value.
That's pretty mind-blowing. So what you're saying is, even if we're not all going to be replaced by robots tomorrow, we still need to start thinking about how AI can be integrated into our businesses.
Absolutely. And we need to start thinking about the skills we need to develop to work effectively with AI, because the future belongs to those who can adapt and evolve.
Okay, so you've definitely got my attention now. Let's dive deeper into this AI paradox and explore how it applies to different industries and job functions.
Let's do it. There's some really fascinating examples out there that I think you'll find both exciting and thought-provoking.
Awesome. But before we get lost down that rabbit hole, I'd love to hear your thoughts on something the Klarna CEO said about AI needing reasoning combined with knowledge and experience. What does that actually mean in practice?
That's a great question. It basically means that AI is still a long way from being able to replicate human intuition and judgment. AI can process information and make decisions based on data, but it doesn't have the same level of understanding and experience that humans do. So it's still important for humans to be involved in the decision-making process.
So AI isn't going to replace human managers and leaders anytime soon.
Not necessarily. AI can certainly automate certain tasks and make some decisions, but ultimately humans are still needed to provide direction, oversight, and strategic thinking.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
But remember, AI is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed and adapt accordingly. The skills that are in demand today may be different tomorrow, so it's important to be a lifelong learner.
That's a great point. So what you're saying is we need to be flexible, adaptable, and always willing to learn new things.
Exactly. The future belongs to those who are comfortable with change and embrace the opportunities that new technologies bring.
I love that. So let's dive into some of those opportunities. Tell me more about this AI paradox and how it can actually benefit businesses and individuals.
Well, one of the most interesting aspects of the AI paradox is that it challenges our assumptions about what success looks like in the age of AI. It's not just about raw performance anymore. It's about the overall impact on the business.
So it's not about finding the most advanced AI. It's about finding the AI that works best for your specific needs.
Exactly. And sometimes that might mean using AI that's not perfect, but still delivers significant value.
Okay, so give me some examples. How are businesses actually using this good enough AI to their advantage?
Yeah. Well, one great example is in customer service. A lot of companies are using AI-powered chatbots to handle basic customer inquiries. Now, these chatbots might not be able to handle every single request, but they can handle a large volume of routine questions, freeing up human agents to focus on more complex issues.
That makes sense. So it's not about replacing human customer service agents altogether. It's about using AI to augment their capabilities and make them more efficient.
Exactly. And the same principle applies to other areas of the business as well. For example, AI can be used to automate tasks like data entry scheduling and even content creation. Now, the quality of the AI-generated content might not be as high as human-generated content, but it can still be good enough for certain purposes like social media posts or product descriptions.
So it's all about finding the right balance between human expertise and AI capabilities.
Precisely. And that balance is going to be different for every business. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
This is all really fascinating stuff, but I have to admit, I'm still a little bit nervous about the whole robots taking over thing. I mean, are we really heading towards a future where machines are doing all the work and humans are just sitting around watching Netflix all day?
That's a great question, and it's one that a lot of people are asking. But I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. Ultimately, the future of work depends on the choices that we make today.
So what can we do to ensure that AI is used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay informed and engaged. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to shape its development and ensure that it's used responsibly and ethically. We also need to focus on developing the skills that will be in demand in the future, like critical thinking, creativity, and emotional intelligence. These are the skills that will set humans apart from machines and allow us to thrive in a world where AI is increasingly prevalent.
Those are all really important points. So what's the best way for our listeners to stay informed and develop those skills?
Well, there are a lot of great resources available online and in libraries. There are also a lot of online courses and workshops that can help people develop the skills they need for the future. And of course, podcasts like this one are a great way to stay up to date on the latest developments in AI and the future of work.
Absolutely. So to wrap up this part of our discussion, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember about the AI paradox?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI doesn't have to be perfect to be valuable. Sometimes good enough AI is more than enough to make a significant impact on your business.
I love that. It's a really empowering message. So listeners, don't be afraid to experiment with AI and see how it can work for you. You might be surprised at what you can achieve with even good enough AI.
Welcome back.
So before the break, we were talking about Klarna and their CEO's bold move to replace employees with AI. It's pretty wild to think about AI potentially doing the work of hundreds of people.
It is, and it really highlights how quickly things are changing in the world of AI. But Klarna's approach is just one example. There are a lot of other companies out there using AI in innovative ways.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. What are some other interesting examples of AI being used in business right now?
Well, one area where we're seeing a lot of growth is in marketing and advertising. AI is being used to personalize ads, target specific audiences, and even create marketing content.
So like those ads that seem to follow you around the internet.
Exactly. AI is being used to track your online behavior and serve you ads that are most likely to be relevant to you. It's a bit creepy, but it's also incredibly effective.
I guess that explains why I keep seeing ads for shoes every time I'm online.
Probably. But AI is also being used to create marketing content, like blog posts, social media updates, and even video scripts. This can save businesses a lot of time and money, and it can also help them to create more engaging content.
So is AI going to replace marketers altogether?
I don't think so. AI can certainly automate certain tasks, but it still lacks the creativity and strategic thinking that humans bring to the table. In fact, I think AI will actually create more opportunities for marketers. As AI takes over the more mundane tasks, marketers will be free to focus on the more strategic and creative aspects of their jobs.
That's good to hear. So what other industries are being impacted by AI?
Well, AI is also having a major impact on the healthcare industry. It's being used to develop new drugs, diagnose diseases, and even provide personalized treatment plans.
That's amazing. So AI is literally saving lives.
It is. AI is also being used to improve patient care. For example, there are AI-powered chatbots that can answer patients' questions, schedule appointments, and even provide basic medical advice.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like AI is revolutionizing healthcare.
It is,
Yeah.
and we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. As AI continues to develop, we can expect to see even more amazing applications in the years to come.
So we've talked about marketing healthcare and, of course, Klarna's unique approach to managing their workforce with AI. What other industries are ripe for disruption by AI?
Well, one industry that's already being transformed by AI is finance. AI is being used to detect fraud, assess risk, and even make investment decisions.
So AI is basically becoming a financial advisor.
In a way, yes. There are now AI-powered robo-advisors that can provide personalized investment advice and manage your portfolio for you.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if AI can help me pick some winning stocks.
Maybe. But it's important to remember that AI is not a magic bullet. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used wisely or unwisely. It's important to do your research and understand the risk before you invest in anything, whether it's AI-powered or not.
That's a great point. So with all these incredible advancements in AI, it seems like there are endless possibilities. But are there any downsides to using AI?
Well, as with any new technology, there are potential risks and challenges. One concern is that AI could lead to job displacement. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it's possible that it could automate many of the jobs that are currently done by humans.
We've talked about that a bit, but what could people do to prepare for a future where AI is more prevalent in the workplace?
Well, one important thing is to focus on developing skills that are difficult for AI to replicate. These include skills like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
So the skills that make us uniquely human.
Exactly. It's also important to be adaptable and willing to learn new things. The job market is constantly evolving, and the skills that are in demand today may be different tomorrow. By staying curious and embracing lifelong learning, you'll be better positioned to thrive in a world where AI is constantly changing the game.
That's great advice. So AI is a powerful tool with the potential to revolutionize many industries, but it's important to use it wisely and to be mindful of the potential risks. We need to focus on developing the skills that will allow us to work alongside AI and to ensure that AI is used for good, not for harm. Any other thoughts on the potential downsides of AI?
Well, another concern is that AI could be used to create or exacerbate existing biases. For example, if an AI system is trained on data that is biased against a particular group of people, it could perpetuate those biases in its decisions. This is a serious issue that we need to be aware of and work to address.
That's a really important point. AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. So if the data is biased, the AI will be biased too. We need to ensure that the data we use to train AI systems is diverse and representative of the population as a whole. That way, we can help to mitigate the risk of AI perpetuating harmful biases.
Exactly. It's also important to remember that AI is not a silver bullet. It's a tool. And like any tool, it has its limitations. We need to be realistic about what AI can and cannot do. And we need to use it in a way that complements human capabilities, not replaces them.
So it's not about humans versus AI. It's about humans and AI working together.
Precisely. The future of work is collaborative, and we need to find ways to harness the power of AI while still preserving what makes us uniquely human.
That's a really powerful message. So as we wrap up this part of our discussion, what's one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember about the potential downsides of AI?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us to ensure that AI is used in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. We need to be mindful of the potential risks, and we need to work to mitigate those risks. But we also need to embrace the incredible opportunities that AI offers. AI has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, and I believe that together we can create a future where AI is a force for good in the world.
That's a great point. We need to be both cautious and optimistic when it comes to AI. We need to acknowledge the risks, but also embrace the possibilities.
Yeah, it's been really eye-opening to explore all these different facets of AI and its impact on businesses. We've talked about the AI paradox and how good enough AI can be incredibly valuable. We've also seen how AI is being used across various industries, from marketing to healthcare to finance. And we've touched on some of the potential downsides like job displacement and the risk of perpetuating biases. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious to get your perspective on something the Klarna CEO said.
Okay.
He mentioned that while his work is an important part of who he is, he believes we need to be honest about the changes AI is bringing and embrace them rather than deny them. What are your thoughts on that? I think it's a really mature and insightful perspective. It speaks to the fact that AI is not just a technological shift, but a societal one. It challenges our assumptions about work identity and even what it means to be human. It's natural to feel some resistance or fear towards such a profound change, but ultimately burying our heads in the sand won't help. Acknowledging the changes and actively shaping how we adapt to them is crucial.
So how can we as business owners, managers, or just generally tech-savvy individuals embrace this change and position ourselves for success in this new AI-powered world?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's about staying informed and engaged. The more we understand about AI, its capabilities, and its limitations, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions. That means reading articles, listening to podcasts like this one, attending webinars, even experimenting with AI tools ourselves. It's about being proactive and curious.
So like the Klarna CEO said, being honest with ourselves about what's coming and actively learning about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And beyond staying informed, it's about developing those uniquely human skills that will be even more valuable in the future. We've talked about critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving. These are skills that AI is still far from mastering.
Right. So while AI might be able to automate routine tasks or analyze massive data sets, it's still humans who will be needed to interpret that information, make strategic decisions, and navigate the complexities of human interaction.
Precisely. And I think that's actually a very optimistic outlook. It means that the future of work isn't about being replaced by robots, but about humans and AI working together, each leveraging their strengths.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
So what's one practical piece of advice you'd give to our listeners who are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this talk about AI and the future of work?
My advice would be to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire business or learn every single thing about AI overnight. Instead, identify one area of your business or your work where AI could potentially be helpful. Maybe it's automating a repetitive task, personalizing customer interactions, or getting better insights from your data. Then start experimenting with some of the AI tools that are available. There are so many great resources out there, many of them even free to try.
So it's about taking that first step, dipping your toes in the water and seeing what works for you.
Exactly. The key is to approach it with a mindset of curiosity and experimentation. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are communities, online forums, and experts who can help you along the way.
That's great advice. It's about taking action, but also knowing that there's support available.
Well, I think this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of AI and its impact on business. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. It's given us a lot to think about.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy these conversations. And to our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive informative and inspiring. Remember, the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create. And by understanding and embracing the power of AI, we can shape a future that is both innovative and human-centered. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.